Hello, everybody on YouTube and all the NHL lovers out there. This is Andrew Warren, back here once again, giving you my picks for the first round of the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. Check it out. First off, let me apologize about the Baylor basketball team for the NCAA March Madness this year and didn't congratulate them on my pick, and I didn't make my final pick on that, but I didn't pick them to win. But I did pick up, and I want to apologize for not doing that because I've been really busy with school and all that going on. But anyways, that being said, congratulations to Baylor who beat Gonzaga in the NCAA March Madness Finals. And now we're going on to the Stanley Cup playoffs right now. So anyways, let's kick things off in the Eastern Division. So the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Islanders. For that one, this is going to be a very interesting one. It depends on how the Islanders do on their goaltending, which has been a weird year for the Islanders. For the low scoring affair for them. Well, it's kind of in a way, but they have a rookie goaltender in Sorokin, who's been Avalanche Sorokin, who has been really good in between the pipes. And the question is about Sermon Velleman Knowles. Yeah, I'm not really good in pronouncing people's names, so I apologize to that. But Valamone, it doesn't. But he didn't skate, but there's a little question mark on the air on that, so we don't know what the question side of it. But nevertheless, if Josh Bailey or Matthew Barzal or Brock Nicholson step up to the plate, I think they can skate out outright on this one. It's been a weird year for the Islanders, but I think they're going to pull something off on that. But in the other hand, we got Sidney Crosby and Jake Gazakuli going in there, and Brian Rust going at it, which I believe they're in there. But in my opinion, if Tristan Jarry gets on, the Islanders, I don't think they have a shot in winning this one. So I think it's going to come down to who's going to have the better goaltending, which is going to be Tristan Jarry, who's been really great between the pipes all year, which I believe he'll get goaltender of the year. I'm going to put him in that category this year. So I'm gonna go into that one. I think he's gonna be voting in Vegas. I believe they get the NHL awards. I think he's gonna get the goaltender of the year. So I think that's gonna be one. But nevertheless, for this series, I think this is gonna be a really close matchup. I expect to be a really very tough one. So I think it's gonna come down to at least 6 games, and I think Washington's gonna put up a fight. But the Islanders are gonna put up a fight, but it's not gonna be enough. The way the Islanders have been going through, and it's not gonna be enough. So I'm gonna say the Pittsburgh Penguins beat out the New York Islanders in 4-2 in that series. So I'm taking the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games on this one. First off, and after that game, let's go on to the other Eastern Division game, which is my Boston Bruins are going to be facing out the Washington Capitals. Now, the big question going into this series, who the hell is going to be the goaltender for the Washington Capitals? That's all the questions been thrown around all week. Who's going to be the goaltender situation going on? Things like that pop up, that's going to be a lot of trouble. So I think that's going to be a lot of problems with the Washington Capitals side. So I think that's probably the biggest weekend. But Peter Lovett, and he may step up to the plate, but it's not clear what that is. But Tom Wilson, I don't know. But that being said, Tuukka Rask, he's coming back strong, and I think, and if Tuukka Rask doesn't pull it out like last year, he wanted to be safe with family and stuff like that, I think that's going to be a problem. But ever since the Bruins made that trade, the Buffalo Bills, they made the Sabre trade with Taylor Hall. I think it's been working out for them straight there. So in Buffalo receiving Andres Boric for that deal. So, nevertheless, ever since the Bruins got Taylor Hall, the Bruins have been playing lights out. And ever since that trade came in, they've been popping in and out. So, but Taylor Hall, he's been the man on the plate on that one. Of course, we got Bruins captain Patrice Bergeron. And that's going to be the interesting part, though. Zdeno Chara facing his old team in that one. So that's another big clunker on that one. So this is going to be a tight one. even though the Bruins lost to the Washington Capitals this year, I think we had some struggles against them. But I think in this case scenario around, this is the game. If the Bruins need to win, this is it. To order that, because they let Zdeno Chara go and went to the Washington Capitals. But TJ Oshie, Tom Wilson, and of course Alex Ovechkin, I think they're all going to be in there. And Lars Eller, there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to be stepping up to the plate on the Washington Capitals roster. And Charlie Coyle, I think, for the Bruins, and Tuukka Rask, and I think he can pick up the pipes. And we have David Pastrnak and Patrice Bergeron, our captain, and Brad Marchand in there. If those guys can get going, I think we're going to see what the Bruins are going to go in there. So I think swirling around with the goalie situation for the Washington Capitals, I think the Bruins are going to set that one up really easily on that one. So I think the Bruins are going to really take this one out. And I'm going to say the Bruins are going to take this 4-3. It's going to be a close series. I think the Bruins are going to pull this one out. So I think it's going to be an upset one. I think, because I believe the last time I checked, the Capitals are favored in this game, in this series. And I think by 6 games. But I think Bruins are going to take this in 7. So there you have it. I'm going to take the Bruins in a 7-game series in the Washington and Bruins series in the Eastern Division. That's going to cover my Eastern divisions. Let's head to the North Division, okay? So we got the North Division going in there. We got the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. And this game, I think this was the game that's going to be a question mark on them. If Carey Price is going to be back by the playoffs or not, we don't know. So I think, last I heard, he was skating a little bit today, or this past week. So I don't know. He ruled out on the road trip last week, so I don't know what the situation with that is. But this is going to definitely take advantage for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. But Freddie Anderson, he shouldn't impact on the Maple Leafs decision, but I think he's going to be the starter in that one. So I think we're going to look out of that one. But Mitchell Marner and Austin Matthews, they've been playing lights out all year. Right? I think Mitchell Marner, I think he'd definitely want to be a player of the year. I think if I had to pick on the Eastern side, I think it would be Mitchell Marner from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think he played a really good season. So I think going into this game, and it's a battle of the Canadian team, so in the next 2, so I'm going to tell you that one. So anyways, Austin Matthews has 41 goals, so I think that's going to be really good. And Mitchell Marner has 47 assists, so I think that's going to make a big difference on that one. So even though they're playing the Montreal Canadiens, and I think, and the Canadiens are not doing as bad too. You got Taylor Trophy, who had put up 44 points, and I think we got Jeff Perry, who put up 30 assists, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But one or the other, I think they're going to be fine with them. I think this is going to be a close series, though. I think a lot of people are going to, I thought they said it was going to be a 5-game series, but being two Canadian teams, I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. So I think the way this is going to go, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to get the hump out of their back on the first round after my Bruins bumped them out a couple of times. So I think the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be bouncing on that one. So I think I'm going to pick the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Montreal Canadiens in this one. And I think it's going to be a 7-game series on that one. So the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Montreal Canadiens in 7 games. 4-3. All right, let's get down with the Edmonton Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets. All right, for this game alone, I think the Winnipeg Jets are going to try to figure out how to stop Connor McDavid. So I think this is going to be a really tough one on that one. But if they're going to do that, Connor Hellebuck may have to make a step up to the plate on this one. If they're going to do something like that, that's going to be the key on that one. So if Connor McDavid is on the rise, I think the Winnipeg Jets are going to have a long series on that one. So I think this is going to be any shape or form on that one. So if Connor McDavid could do something with that, with the Winnipeg Jets are in a long playoff drought on that one. So this is going to be a really tough one. Connor McDavid, and who I believe I think personally, he's gonna get the MVP candidate. He's been playing lights out all year. I believe he got 104 points on that one. So don't get me wrong on Leon Draisaitl and everyone else. I think, but for that game, if I had to pick a game, this is gonna be a really tough one for it have to be a blowout. And I think this is the one. Is it? So I think if the Oilers can continue what they've been doing on the ice on the regular season, even though they're the second team in the roster, I think they have better play and have a better roster than Toronto does personally. But I think in this one alone, I think the Edmonton Oilers, I think they're going to be going into the second round. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the Edmonton Oilers for the first time in, I believe, 15 years that they made it to, into a second round. I think it was 2006 when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals that year. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but nevertheless, if this is a game that's going to be a sweep or something, or a 5-game series, this series is it. So I'm going to say the Edmonton Oilers are going to beat the Winnipeg Jets in a sweep on this one. 4 games sent on this one. Because if Connor McDavid, if he gets going, it's gonna be a long day. So I'm gonna have to say the Edmonton Oilers in a sweep and the Winnipeg Jets in this one. Let's go with the Central Division right now with the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues on this one. So for this game, it's going to be a lot of question marks for the Colorado Avalanche. As of right now, Philip Garberlin is added to the COVID protocol list, and that's not really good for the Colorado Avalanche right now on that one. So that's going to be really bad on their part right now for them. This is definitely going to take advantage of the St. Louis Blues, I think. Originally, I was going to go with the Avs, but now with the protocol on there, going on with the Colorado Avalanche, I think this is going to be a lot in there. But nevertheless, though, if Michael Rannigan and Nathan McKinnon can step up to the plate on that one, I think the Colorado definitely has a shot. So it's going to be a really close call. But the St. Louis Blues, they've been there before. They've been in there before. A couple of years ago when they were in their Stanley Cup final run against my Boston Bruins, we got David Perlin and Ryan O'Reilly and Mike Hoffman who've been the key element on that one. But the question is Jordan Bennington. Now they have a healthy goalie in Jordan Bennington on this one. If Jordan Bennington can click in this one, this could be a long series for Colorado. And because of the protocol, the COVID protocol lists and stuff like that, this is gonna be a very, very long one. I think for the Colorado Avalanche, and I kind of smell like an upset in this one. I'm gonna take the St. Louis Blues over the Colorado Avalanche in 7 games on this one. So the St. Louis Blues over the Colorado Avalanche in a 4-3 series. But like I said, if Colorado didn't have that the COVID protocols on this one, I think this is going to be a different outcome on this one. But the way things are going in with that right now, I think this is going to be everything else, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera on that one. So nevertheless, we'll see how that one turns out. But I'm still sticking with my guns with the St. Louis Blues beating the Colorado Avalanche in a 7-game series. Let's go with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild in the next series. The Minnesota Wild I was gonna say the Vegas Golden Knights. I changed my mind. Mark Stone and Max Parley. And not only that, we got Marc-Andre Fleury, who's definitely a future Hall of Famer as of right now. He's going to be a great pickup. I think if Marc-Andre Fleury could step this up, I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to beat out the Minnesota Wild on this one. Don't get me wrong about the Minnesota Wild. Carl Capodesino and Kevin Nafila, I think they're definitely doing some really good. But if they can put up a fight on this one. I'm not going to say they will, but I think they will. But the key factor is their rookie goaltender, the Capo, he was on Team X. He was the X factor for them. So I would probably say, usually rookie goaltenders, I think he's going to do pretty well on this one. I think it's going to be a little like on the edge of the 6-game series spot on this one. But if Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be on, there's going to be no way for Minnesota they're going to not be even near in the second round. No way. But anyways, nevertheless, though, I think in this one, Vegas is going to win this one out. But I think it's going to be a 6-game series. So I think it's going to be Vegas over on the Minnesota Wild in a 4-2 series on that one. I think the key element is if Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be healthy on this one, which I think he will. So I think, and not only that, I think if he got into the Stanley Cup Finals before, on their very first season, and I think in my estimation, I think if he can get it, I think in my opinion, I think Vegas is the favorite. I would probably put them in the way they've been playing right now. So I would probably put Vegas in there right now as the first overall favorite to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. But I don't really have a personal favorite to win it right now. But when I get to that point, I will. But I think I've had to make an early prediction. I think it's going to be the Minnesota Wild is going to be taking it all this year. So I'm going to probably stick to my guns on that one. I mean, not the Minnesota Wild. I'm sorry, the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm going to stick with the Vegas Golden Knights winning it all this year. So I'm going to take Vegas over the Minnesota Wild in this one in a 4-2 series. Let's go to the Central Division right now. Let's kick things off with the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. So if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Anyways, I think for this game for the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're pretty much back healthy when the right time. So now the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to pick up where the Buccaneers left off and winning a Super Bowl. Now they're going to probably do the same with that. So I think in my case scenario, but I think from my point, I think and not only that, they're going to fight for being the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions as well. So that's going to be an interesting part on that one. But in my case scenario, in this one, that Steven Stamkos is back, like at the right time. That's really great for Tampa Bay right now, I think. But not only that, Brandon Point is going to be a kick factor as well. So I think if that's going to be the case on that one, I think you're probably going to look at a really tough series on that one for Carolina. I mean, for Florida right now. Excuse me. So for Florida right now, but don't get me wrong, I think it's going to be a really close series. But the problem is for Tampa Bay, they were really unhealthy going in, and now they're going to be this is going to be coming back at a rusty start for Tampa Bay. Now with everything going on, especially with Steven Stamkos coming back from injury. But don't get me wrong, Carter Venskis and Mackenzie Wenger, and don't forget Anthony Duclair, who's been really good for them for Florida as well. So and Alex Windenberg and Jonathan Hudiberdou and all of that, and don't forget Sergei Bobrovsky. I think if he can step up to the plate, though, I think Florida can go really far in the playoffs. But don't get me wrong, Tampa Bay hasn't been really healthy all year, rarely making it to the playoffs, and I think the way things are going for Tampa Bay, I don't know. It's going to be really tough. Usually when they come back healthy on right on time of the playoffs, it usually tends to get rusty at times. I think that's going to be the way to go for Tampa Bay on that one. So I'm going to probably say the Florida Panthers over the Tampa Bay Lightning in this one, and I think that's going to be a 7-game series on that one. So I'm going to take the Florida Panthers and over the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games. So we're going to have new Stanley Cup champions, I believe. I think that's what's going to happen. All right, the very last one. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Nashville Predators. Well, this is a rematch from 3 days ago, so I'll tell you that much. So now they face off in the playoffs, with Sebastian Aho and Vincent Trocheck, and so I think they're going to be really good in there. And don't forget, Pierre Vasovic, who's been really well in the pipes for Carolina. Now they're going to take on a rematch with the Nashville Predators with Romy Oshie and guys like them and everything else going on, and Ryan Ellis and everything else, and Michael Grenier, I think who's been really well too, and Philip Forsberg, I think they're going to be really well. But I think the key element for them is Pecan Ron for Florida for the goaltender, Nashville for the goaltender. I think for that case scenario, I think if he can really step up, I think Carolina will have a tough time. But I believe this is going to be Carolina in this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's Sebastian Aho and Vince Wilfork. But Peter Malik, I think they're going to payback from the night before. So for the Hurricanes, I think they want payback for the night before. So Peter Mrazek, I think he's going to be stepping up to the plate when he needs to right now. So that's going to be it for Carolina right now. So I think for my case scenario, I think Carolina is going to win out that series. So I think I'm going to take Carolina in 7 games on this one. No, I'm going to take this in 5. So I think this is going to be a much tougher component for Nashville. I just think about that just now. So anyways, I think Carolina is going to win that one out over Carolina in a 5-game series. In 5 games, so it'll be 4-1. So I think Carolina is going to take that one out and move on to the next round. First off, I want to say thank you for my seeing my NHL videos and this one. But don't worry, I'm going to be doing more of those when the playoffs roll around. And don't worry, I think during the middle of it, I believe I'm going to probably do early NFL predictions coming up. So that's going to be coming up in the bright future in the next couple months. So I want to say thank you for being a supporter for that. I know last year or so ago, and we've been through a lot with the pandemic. I want to thank the first responders. I want to thank I work in the grocery store. I've been working really well with that. And restaurant owners, too. I want to give them a shout out for working really hard in the pandemic. I know it's been a struggle for them as well. So, it is what it is with the pandemic. I'm not really opposed, and I'm up for it, and anything, stuff like that. I want to appreciate we still got the time right now. So, anyways, that being said, I hope you guys stay safe and healthy. And until then, I want to say, this is Andrew Orange saying, rock out and enjoy the Stanley Cup playoffs.